Hello. Today I'm going to talk about number 3 of homework 8.5. So for this problem, it have 28 cigarettes from normal distribution, and standard deviation measured is 0.2. And they want a 0.05 significance level to claim the test that the standard deviation is different from 0.3. Okay, so for the null hypothesis, always have the equal sign, so sigma equal to 0.3. And the alternative hypothesis is sigma not equal to 0.3. Okay, so choose C for part A. And for the test statistic, it is a chi-square, and the way to calculate is shown in the slides here, page 2. Okay, so you have the test statistic for chi-square is n-1 times s squared over sigma squared. So here n is 28, s is your s is the sample standard deviation, which is 0.2, and sigma is 0.3. Okay, so if you plug in those values, you can find chi-squared to be 12. And for part C, to find the p-value of the test statistic. So this one, you know, it's a two-tailed test. So you know that p-value you get should be the area in the two tails. Okay, and if you are curious, we have the p-value. We have the p-value definition shown down here. P-value, okay? The p-value, this is like the definition of p-value. And how to really get the p-value? Here down for the two tails, p-value will be twice the area of the tail beyond the test statistic. Okay? So first, let's find the area in one tail and then times 2. That will be our answer. So here we have the test statistic, chi-square equal to 12 with 27 degrees of freedom. So if you go to StatCrunch, say stat, calculators, chi-square, here. If you say you have 27 degrees of freedom, and you want to say we have the value to be 12. Okay. Right now you are not quite sure whether 12 is to the left part of your peak or to the right part of the peak. So first you try less or equal to. And as it is drawn here, the peak here is around, say, 27. And less or equal to 12 will show you this small area on the left side of your peak. Or in other words, your 12 is on the left side of your peak. So for the p-value, it is at least as extreme as 12, or even more extreme. That should be to the left of 12. So this area to the left of 12 would be right. Okay, but that's just one tail. You need also the area of the other tail. So you need to have this one times 2. That should be a p-value. So if you copy that and use your calculator or StatCrunch to calculate, what is that times 2? So this one times 2. This new column here will show you the p-value. Okay, and if you round to 3 decimal place, that's 0.011. And because of this one is smaller than alpha, you will reject the h naught. Another way to do that is using StatCrunch. It has a hypothesis test directly. You can do that. So if you go to Stat, Variance Stats, one sample with summary. For the StatCrunch, it only have the variance stats but no standard deviation stats. So for the standard deviation, you really need to square that to get the variance and plug in. So for this one, it asks what is the sample variance. This one only have the sample standard deviation to be 0.2. So the sample variance should be the square of 0.2, which is 0.04. And the sample size to be 28. The hypothesis test is sigma against sigma squared instead of sigma. We have the in the H0 sigma to be 0.3. So sigma squared should be 0.3 squared, which is 0.09. And HA or H1 is sigma squared not equal to 0.09. Okay? And for this one, if you click compute, it will give you the p-value here. Okay, and the chi-square, everything is here, down here. Okay, so you have your chi-square statistics equal to 12. That's the answer for part B. And the p-value is shown here. That is for part C. Okay, you can use either way to calculate that.